Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stretford review. This is my review of Manchester United's third win in a row, which, yeah, we couldn't even string 2 wins in a row, but we've suddenly got 3 in a row and things are actually looking up right now. Yeah, it's our third win in a row, our 4-2 win over Brighton. Sounds like a comfortable enough scoreline for the large majority of the game. It was quite comfortable. We did shoot ourselves in the foot in the last 15 minutes or so. Once again, this club can't do anything easily or comfortably, but we managed to get the job done in the end, which is the most important thing, of course. Heading into this game, I was not that confident, to be honest, especially after the win against Liverpool, with how happy every Man United fan was for the last week or so. It actually made me less confident of this game against Brighton. And also the fact that we've lost 6 of our last 7 against Brighton didn't fill me with any confidence whatsoever. So yeah, I was not confident at all going into this game, but I'm so happy we got the 3 points, and there's quite a lot of positives to take from this game also. I think the first half we were amazing. We were really good. We had a few scares. Brighton had a few breaks. Minta especially, that Brighton number 11, he looks like a unbelievable player. I think in 12 to 18 months it's going to be the classic Brighton sale, and Minta's going to end up at a really big club, whether that's in the Premier League or abroad. I think he looks really good. And he and Welbeck caused quite a few problems for us in the first half, and we kind of rode our luck in instances. There was a moment where the ball got hit across the 6-yard box. I think it was Dalot didn't really deal with it, and it fell to Minta and he couldn't really get contact with it. There was another time Minta was running at our left-hand side and he got quite deep into the box, but he just kind of was indecisive in the last moment and we managed to get the ball cleared. But other than that, we were very good in the first half. We created chances. We were absolutely robbed of a penalty. The officiating in this game was so weird. Ahmad got taken out of it when the game was at 0-0. It was about 15 or 16 minutes in. It was 7 or 8 minutes before we scored the opener. But it was a stonewall penalty. I can't believe VAR didn't overturn it. I can't believe the referee didn't give it in the first instance, but the fact that VAR didn't overturn it afterwards is just scandalous, to be honest. Also, for our last goal, which I'll come on to a bit later, I think we were very lucky to have that goal stand. Obviously, I'm happy it did stand, but I think we were very lucky to not concede a free kick when Shaw fouled one of the Brighton players. But back to the first half anyway. We'll come on to the second half later. Cunha finally gets his first goal for us. I'm so happy for him. That was the loudest cheer of the day for me, even though it was our first goal and the game was still finally balanced at 1-0, of course. I was so happy for him. It was a beautiful finish. He had a great shot as well, 5-10 minutes before, to the keeper's bottom left, but the keeper reached over and saved it, and it was a nice save and a nice bit of play from Cunha. But when that ball fell to him on the left hand side of the box and he just used the defender to curl it round and into the bottom corner, the keeper's left again, I was so happy for him. We got the knee slide, we got the badge kiss. I was just so happy for him. He fully deserved it. He's come so close on so many occasions this season, and he's been in and out of the team with injury, but he's never failed to be brave and take the ball, and that's what I love about him. He's a proper Brazilian. He's a proper skillful Premier League player who always shows for it. He doesn't hide in games, and that's exactly what we need. Yeah, I'm just so happy for him and Mbeumo. I think they're both going to be such big players for us going forward, and they're going to be key to us climbing up the table this season and beyond. So yeah, we went 1-0 up. I was delighted. We deserved to go 1-0 up as well. We started the first half really well. We were very lucky with the second goal. Casemiro deflected shot, sends the keeper the wrong way. We got our luck for that one, but I think we deserved that bit of luck, especially after not getting that penalty on the foul on Ahmad. So look, you make your own luck sometimes. And yeah, we kind of controlled the game quite well. I was very worried about Brighton's press and Brighton's midfield, but Casemiro and Bruno did quite well. They were quite comfortable for most of the game, up until the back end of the second half. But for the first half, 2-0 up, happy days, no complaints at all. The second half was kind of more the same. We maybe didn't create as many chances in the first part of the second half as we did in the first, which has been a common theme for us this season. We seem to start games really well and we kind of fade off as the game progresses, which is something we need to address. It wasn't as apparent in today's game, but it's still something I've noticed, and it's a continuous pattern that keeps happening to us this season. But on the hour, we got our deserved third goal. Brian Mbeumo, he is our Salah. Again, he's nowhere near the levels Salah was, and I don't think he'll ever be as good as Salah was in his prime. Definitely not, but he's the same kind of player where sometimes he can look kind of awkward on the ball and not the prettiest on the eye, but his output and his efficiency is so good and so needed for this United team. 20 goals in the league last season. He's our top scorer so far this season, and it's just a classic Mbeumo goal. Sesko did really well. The ball was played into him. Sesko's first touch on the half turn was really nice. He just opened up his body and the play, slipped it straight to Mbeumo's feet, cuts in, hits it down to the keeper's left. 3-0, game over. Well, we all thought it was game over until we decided to do the classic United and give all of our fans a heart attack for the last half hour. Yes, I think it was the 72nd or 73rd minute we conceded our first goal. Dorgu fouled, I believe it was Minta again who was running through on goal. He was the last man, but I think the keeper was going to get it. The Brighton player had no hope of getting it, and I think it was more the Brighton player slowing down and Dorgu running into him than Dorgu proactively making a foul on him, and that's maybe why he got the yellow card instead of the red. I would have had no complaints if they gave the red card, but I do understand why the yellow was given. But from the free kick, Welbeck, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Welbeck score or even take a free kick in my life, and he just goes and bangs that in from 25-30 yards. It was a great strike, although I do think Lemens should have done better. Lemens has been so solid so far, and he hasn't made any glaring errors or anything like that, and I don't think this was a glaring error either, but it was a save you still expect him to make. It wasn't really in the corner, it was kind of halfway between the middle of the goal and the corner of the goal, so I think he'd be a bit disappointed that he didn't do better with that. But look, he's a young goalkeeper, these things happen. I've been very happy with him in his first 3 games. I mean, we've won every game with Lemens in goal, so clearly something is going right. But I'm sure he'll be a little bit disappointed that he didn't save it. But after that point anyway, we should have really kept our heads and just relaxed the play and tried to just keep it nice and simple. But fair play to Brighton. Brighton really did push for the second goal. I think they could smell a bit of unease and uncertainty in the air. No Manchester United game is certain at all, home or away, no matter the opponent. And Brighton sensed that, and they really went for it. And they got their second goal. James Milner, who is the most anti-Manchester United footballer ever, just because he's played for Newcastle, Leeds, Liverpool, and Man City, and now Brighton. And we don't like Brighton either. Brighton aren't our rivals, but Brighton have such a good record against us that it really annoys me when I see them in the upcoming matches. I'm like, oh God, we have to play Brighton again, because we just never seem to do well against them in recent years. So Milner whips the ball in, and they score from the corner, near post header into the far corner. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is just we're gonna throw this away, aren't we? Xerxes should have picked up his man better, but he didn't. He switched off, and yeah, it was 3-2 in the blink of an eye, and that's when I started to kind of panic. Amram as well, you could see how uneasy he was, especially when the fourth official's board went up for the added time. 7 minutes of added time. Amram's face when that happened, it was priceless. He was so pissed off. And I think we all were. We were just uneasy and anxious, and we just wanted the final whistle. And thankfully, in the last minute of added time, Aiden Heaven won a duel in his own half. Bruno for this goal, by the way. Bruno didn't register a goal or an assist today, but if you watch it back, I saw Owen Hargreaves did a bit of coverage of the goal, and you can see as Heaven is running onto the ball, Bruno looks over his left shoulder and sees Mbeumo make that run in behind the defence. So when the ball comes to Bruno, he just steps over the ball, lets it run through. It's perfectly run to the path of Mbeumo, and he smashed it into the far top corner. It's a brilliant finish, and it was a really nice way to end the game. You could see when the game was over, the mood in the crowd was really, really high and energetic. I think if that game ended 3-2, the crowd would have been happy and cheering and whatever, but there would have been a bit more kind of like, we really made that a lot harder for ourselves than we needed to. Whereas in this instance, we got the Mbeumo goal to make it 4-2, and you could see at full time, all our players were buzzing. Cunha was the happiest I've seen Cunha since he joined. He was so happy that he scored. He was celebrating with Mbeumo. Ahmad was happy. Bruno was happy. The fans were cheering. Amram was waving. That goal really added a feel-good factor at the end of the game, which is good. We had a really good last 3 weeks. Again, all we have until January is the Premier League, until the FA Cup comes around. So all our dopamine and our happiness comes from the league games. And we've moved up to 4th in the league. And I'm actually recording this on Sunday evening, where it's been a weekend where Man City, Chelsea and Liverpool have all lost, which is great. Again, I'm 99% sure those 3 teams will all finish above us this season, but it's really nice to get some points on the board and move up the table. And we're currently in 5th place, actually, I believe, because I think City are ahead of us on goal difference because they've conceded a lot less and they've obviously scored more. That's how goal difference works, Keane. But yeah, I'm really happy with the results, the performance as well. But against Brighton, a bit like the Liverpool game, the result was the only thing that mattered. Obviously, there were so many positives from the performance, but again, the fact we got 6 points from Liverpool and Brighton, those are like the 2 teams that we probably have the worst record against in the last 3-4 years, along with maybe Arsenal. So yeah, really good to get those 3 points. And I'm actually buzzing for our next game. I'm excited to watch Man United now, which, you know, that can easily come crashing down with how inconsistent this club is. But I'm on a high for Man United right now, and I just hope it can continue as long as possible. Our next game is Forest away, next Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Forest also lost this weekend. I mean, they're in a shambles right now with the whole Ange situation. They brought in Sean Dyche, who's obviously a more traditional manager and a bit more comparable in style to what Nuno brought to Forest. I do expect us to win that game. Forest are absolutely terrible, but also we're Man United and we tend to lose the easy games. even after winning Brighton and Liverpool and Sunderland 3 in a row. I'd love us to keep going 4 in a row, and I think we will. Forest are really bad, so we should be okay. I probably will release a preview for the Forest game. I didn't do a preview for the Brighton game because I was on such a high after the Liverpool game, and even despite being on that high, I did kind of think we'd drop points against Brighton, and I didn't want to dampen the mood around myself or the club, so I said I'd just leave it and see how it plays out. And it kind of worked, so I'm happy enough with that. But with the Forest game, I am confident, touch wood, don't want to jinx anything. But I probably will do a preview for that game and release it with my predicted lineup and how I think the game is going to go, all that kind of stuff. You know the drill by now. So yeah, delighted with his performance, delighted with the results. 3 wins in a row. Amram has relieved a lot of pressure on himself, but we need to keep up this momentum. We need to climb the table, especially when teams around us are dropping points. As I said, Chelsea and City both lost this weekend. Liverpool are after losing their 4th league game in a row. So while these teams are dropping points around us, it's our job to pick up as many points as possible. And even though we do have some difficult games coming up after Forest, if we can beat Forest, that's 4 in a row, and we've really built a good amount of momentum to keep us going further into the season. And especially around the winter months where the games are coming thick and fast, we've kind of started to build momentum at just the right time for this busy schedule. So hopefully we can keep it up. Delight with the 3 points, and on to the next one. Thanks very much for watching, guys.